Hello everyone, wanted to share a little PSA before the start of this video. Tomorrow, June 22nd, I'll be streaming from noon till midnight. It's my birthday. I'm going to have a stream. I'm inviting you to come join me to celebrate my birthday, have a little fun. We'll be playing Raid. We'll be playing Watcher of Realms. We'll be playing whatever other game that I have installed or can install that you want to play with me. So let's have some fun. We're also going to, if we hit certain sub goals, we might even open up some shards. I have a few, about 500 to open, 400 to open, plus Amanda's got another couple hundred. We're going to open them all if we hit our sub goals. So all together, have a little fun. That'll be on twitch.tv/madcapperyt. And we will start the day also on YouTube until 6 p.m. Then we'll have to shut off the YouTube because, we might want to partake in some more adult activities. A little bit of wobbly pops. So please see me again. That is twitch.tv/madcapperyt, or of course on this channel to start. And let's have a little fun tomorrow for my birthday, which, by the way, is also Amanda's birthday. So happy birthday to you, my love. Now let's get on with the show. Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I am Madcapper, and this is another video on Raid Shadow Legends. We today are going to talk about a long-awaited return to glory. That is it. It is the I built them so you don't have to. Now, this is going to be a little different. I am only jumping back into redoing champions that I now have +4 empowerment for epics. They've added epics. The power creep in this game is real, but this has brought some of those epics back to some kind of stronghold. I'm going to give you a little preview here. We'll take a look at all the different champions that we have an opportunity in the next little while to go through. You see them there. Some of them are videos I've done before and we'll get a chance to do again. Others are videos that I've never actually done a video on these champions, so it'll be great to delve into them now that they're +4 empowered. And all of my +4s have +4 or +6 blessings, so it's going to be pretty fun there. But we're going to start with the Poisoner Extraordinaire ROWAN. So without further ado, here it is. I built them so you don't have to. Redux 2024 on ROWAN. All right, we're in the Doom Tower normal so that we can go through her kit, but there's also a couple different scenarios I want to go through here just so you understand what I think is probably the least spoken part about her entire kit, which can make her sneaky good. And we'll show it later on, but I feel like this is something that I really want to show off. And at least so you have all the data and be informed. God, I sound like a political pundit. So her A3, Blade Surge, attacks one enemy 4 times, book to 100% chance of placing a 5% poison debuff for 2 turns. And now it's each hit, which means she's going to put 4 poisons down on 4 hits. She hits pretty hard, and she's going to land 4 poisons. Now, obviously, we're only getting, so 19 to 22 on the poor little bulwark. Her A2, Scourge, attacks 3 times at random. Each hit has a 40% chance of placing a stun debuff for 1 turn. We're going to see that there. 20, 39, so 39 on the corner. I mean, they're all different champions, but you see the hit. And then her A1 attacks 1 enemy. And actually, you know what? I want to do this. I want to make sure we're getting it on the same champion every time. So let's end this battle. Let's replay it. And I'm going to make sure I hit our boy Bulwark again. So our A1 is placing 60%. I think it's booked to 70% of a heal reduction for 2 turns based on attack and speed. So you see 68k. Very nice hit. Very serviceable. Now, why am I bringing this up? Because there's some things we need to know. First scenario, because it's based on attack and speed. Oh, I especially love how it keeps resetting here. We're going to bring in someone with an aura. Okay. Speed in all battles, 24%. So that's going to theoretically increase her damage on her A1 by a slight amount. Really didn't. That's right in the range, I think. Like, I guess we can try one more time. 67, 69, maybe it's slightly. And I think this is because of the additive versus multiplicative. I think the calculation of aura happens at the very end, and I think it's just adding an extra small amount to the end. So unlike multiplicative, which is taking the total and multiplying it. So if you have 100 and you multiply it by 10, you have 1,000. You multiply that by 10, you have 10,000, which is extremely bigger than obviously the 100. And that's not, just as an example. The additive is if it's 100 and then you're multiplying that by 10% and then adding that 10%, then it's 110, not 1,000, right? So if that makes sense, I hope that did. So just to keep that in mind, really not doing a whole lot for you, the aura. However, let's get another scenario. Now, this time we're going to put an increase speed buff on her. Her A1 now hits for 81 significantly. It's a multiplicative factor. And what it's doing is it's taking the speed and it's adding it to 1.9 and then times attack. And because you're multiplying that speed, suddenly she's getting pretty good damage on her A1. And I'll show you how significant that can lead to be. So let's now edit the team again and, of course, take everything out. One of the hardest hitting A1s in the game is Alika for epics. It's a 4.5 on her A1 with a chance to double hit. That's why she's one of my favorites. Her A1 is absolutely devastating and has a 50-50 chance, just same chance as Helm Smasher, of being absolutely ridiculous. Now, she's got less attack. Very similar crit damage here. She's slower, but that shouldn't matter for Alika. But she's got about just shy of 6k attack versus the just over 6k attack. But it's very similar. So now when we do that speed buff and we hit her A1, again, 80s. Now we hit her A1, 68, 78. So that speed buff is, even though Alika's multiplier is higher when you look at the numbers, because the speed buff can do it, she's actually hitting harder now. They both are in Savage, I believe. So maybe not. So you can say they're similar. Now, the real fun part is Alika obviously can benefit from increased attack, but so can ROWAN. So now if we do this scenario, we can really ramp up that A1 damage. And why is that significant? Well, we'll talk about this later in the video, but I think for Arena, it's something you can absolutely exploit. If you can get that increased attack, you can get that increased speed, suddenly she's hitting for 120 on an A1, and Alika is hitting for 108, 88, because obviously you see she's got Helm Smasher. So that's pretty crazy. That's a pretty significant one. I just thought I would mention that. Speed with her is significant. Aura, not so much, but the speed buff and of course the attack buff really amps up her damage significantly. So make sure you're exploiting that if you're using ROWAN, if you're able to, whether it's in the clan boss or other areas. So next, yesterday I actually recorded the portion of the clan boss. So it's a different gear, it's a different gear set. So I'm going to send you there. We're going to cut that in, and then we'll come back after that to taking her in to the arena, where we might be able to make use and exploit this wonderful speed and aura buff. So let's do that next. So I've always felt that Rowan was one of the most underappreciated champions for the clan boss, especially after May of 2021, when she had her key ability, her skill on her A3 changed from a 50 to 75 to a 75 when fully booked 100%. This meant that she didn't put some poisons up, means she was always filling the bar minus the 3% base resist with 4 poisons when she was hitting the clan boss. It is 4 times, it is one enemy, there's no mistaking it. It's hitting one boss. That boss is the clan boss, and on a 3-turn cooldown, you're always guaranteed to be putting up those poisons at regular intervals. The only downfall, and that's one thing that hasn't changed, is this 60 book to 70% chance of the heal reduction. Also keep in mind, she does her damage based on attack on speed, though I've played around with it. And the speed, of course, in this case, we're slowing her right down to be able to work properly in the Demetha comp. I've sped her up, and the speed increase in damage has not been phenomenal. In fact, let's just talk about what that actually means. According to hellhades.com, it doesn't even show the multiplier in the A2 and 3 anymore because it's not there. Fuck, okay. I've long believed that Rowan was one of the most underrated champions for the clan boss, especially with these new comps that bring you new opportunities to bring other champions in the fold, to not have to worry about always using the same 1 or 2 poison champions. Rowan, as long as she can be kept alive, is phenomenal. It does make her a little harder in the early and mid game because she only has a 694 maxed out defense, which does make her a bit of a survivability issue, though at the same time you can build her with additional HP and additional defense and reduce the attack because the poisons are where the damage is going to come from, most importantly, especially in the early and mid game. But once you get a team that is 100% block damage or unkillable, then she can free reign, and that is what we have done here. Take a look at her kit. We do have her in 1 cruel piece, and her total stats are going to be, I don't think I have any other, I don't have any other area bonuses. She's sitting at 8,000 attack, 373% crit damage at 246 accuracy. I did not put my ultimate best gear on her because it wanted to take from like 6 different champions, and I don't have any of the freebie 1 hours available to me as of right now. So we're just putting in her a pretty good set, I would argue. Pretty good numbers. You're going to see the damage. It's going to look good, and it's going to give you an idea of where to, kind of what she's going to do. Now let's also take a look at masteries. Let me move over to this side for you so you can see the masteries. You see, most importantly, of course I would do that every time. You see the most important here. Everything else really doesn't mean much, except the fact that she's one of the few champions who doesn't have a multi-hit A1, but because she's a 4 and 3 on her A3 and A2 respectively, you still put her in Giant Slayer for those extra damage hits. That's very good. We have her a chance Master Hexer, chance of extending the duration of any debuff cast by this champion. This you may actually not want to do. You may want to instead put her in the defensive side of it, because that's going to guarantee the possibility of retribution, the possibility of deterrence, which is going to get you more hits. It's 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. The extra extension might put that the heal debuff on, which of course limits the number of total buffs on the bar by 1. The flip side is if you have her with deterrence, she's going to counterattack with her A1 and still possibly put up that debuff more often. So I'll leave that to you to decide what to do here. There's a few different ways. This is an old build. I honestly play with what you need. The reality is when you're hitting the clan boss and you're using a Demetha comp, you want Heart of Glory, you really want Bring It Down, and you really want Giant Slayer or War Master, and in this case we're going with Giant Slayer. Everything else is preference, and you can decide what makes the most sense for you. Some people might even stop before getting to Master Hexer and just not have it at all. Of course you won't get those extra poisons, but you will get the you will at least get the everything else, all the extra accuracy bonuses and things like that. So there she is with her stats and skills. Again, we're gonna let her free reign on everything. We did go with lethal dose, which why do I have her in lethal dose? I was playing around. Cruelty. What I meant to say is we do have her in cruelty. Wow. Which is going to give her that extra ignoring defense, or reduces the defense, and because it's a 6-star, it's actually decreasing the defense's target by 4% up to 40%, or up to 20%, sorry, on bosses, and she's getting all these extra bonuses, which allows you to just min-max her. I would have had her considerably higher if we didn't limit ourselves on gear, but like I said, it was going to be a lot more expensive. I forgot how expensive building out these champions was. So here we go. That's her. Let's stop messing around. Take her into the clan boss. I have not run this. We're going to be running this. You and I are going to see the exact same thing at the exact same time. So without further ado, let's get into the clan boss. I thought before jumping into the clan boss, I'd show what my key actually looks like on Nightmare. This is on Force Affinity, which is the weakest affinity for Draco. So this is the best opportunity for her to unseed Draco. As I'd done in a previous video, I'd actually removed a lot of gear from my champions to really reduce the amount of damage the whole team was doing, under the premise that I need that gear elsewhere. It makes more sense for me to just do enough damage as opposed to doing, I mean, 130 million damage is still the same one key Ultra Nightmare. But in this case, we're, you know, so take it with a grain of salt. I can probably min-max my Draco for more damage. I think I was hitting around 110 on Force Affinity Ultra Nightmare with this team, with a min-max team. So we'll just see. We'll see what's going on. And we'll see. I believe he did about 30 million. So also keep in mind that because I'm taking Draco out and I don't have a defense down, obviously, on Rowan, I did change out a banner on Fushan so that he would land his A3, which is a decreased defense, so that he is now the decreased defense champion rather than Draco doing double duty. The flip side is Rowan gets to hit every single time, whereas Draco actually takes a turn of not hitting when he lands the debuff. So this could be very interesting to see what she can do. Let's go into Ultra Nightmare. Here's the team. No, it's not. Sorry. Here it is here. Let's go with it. I don't know if I want to do a quick battle. That seems boring. Yeah, we'll do a normal battle. I'm going to disappear and we'll meet you at the end, you know, 47, turn 47 or whatever. That way, if something goes wrong, I can see, you know, I noticed that she has Lore of Steel, which I didn't account for, but should be okay. Nonetheless, here we go. I'm going to run that key. Well, there you go. I would say the proof is in the pudding. Look, the reality is if you have someone like Draco, you're probably going to use them. But in this case, Ron, putting out an easy 50 million, that's a lot of damage. That's a lot of damage to put on a champion. The +4, the 6-star blessing, that's what's helping push these forward. And the reality is you can get that. So I will say, still not the most impressive. I think there's probably better epics out there for this scenario. And when I get them to +4, I'll get them there. Before the Demon Lord for Ultra Nightmare, if you're struggling on finding that champion to put in this position, I think you need not look further than using ROWAN in this type of scenario. And they're going to get you the damage you need. Void Affinity, beautiful. So the question now begs, where else can we use her? Is she a one-trick pony, or can we use her in other areas? And I think what we got to do is try to find the answer to that. So give me a second. We'll take her into another area you might be interested in. All right, so there she was in the clan boss. You can see she can still do the clan boss. Her being A4, is that going to change it? Her being 6-star blessed, it's just going to make the requirements easier, right? She did more damage than my Draco, significantly more damage than my Draco. But let's talk about this. Let's get on to the arena piece. And I want to get to some area that'll actually be a legitimate plan here. So here's something ridiculous. Now, we're going to bring in... I'm trying to remember what all... he's not going to work. For this scenario, we might be in trouble because he's not going to... Oh, but you know what? Duchess will work. Is she fast still? Fast enough still? 274. She's not. This is, you know, best laid plans. And then she just has the... She has the increased speed, so we need that. But we need the increased attack, which we can just do this, I guess. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to be exploiting the whole arsenal of this champion to see whether or not the numbers are significant. Actually, you know what? I think I want to do something a little different. No, we'll do that. This might be a loss. I'm not like, this is more to show you her potential and where I see that she might actually be able to be used in this sort of scenario if you have her and if you need to use her in this sort of scenario, I guess would be the. So we're going to get the boost here. So we've got all the increases. Now we can absolutely go after, and look at that. Just 92K'd. I'm guessing a pretty impressive looking Siffy. And then we can hit 4, right? Boom. We're just now, stone skin. This team wasn't really built to deal with, unfortunately, the stone skin. But just to show you the kind of the neat extras you can kind of do with her. It's very unique. It's very unique's the wrong word. It's very specific to fighting certain enemies, I think. So just keep that in mind. I think we can. I might be in a whole world of trouble here. Is there anything I can? Yeah, that's what I want. Oh, a lot of people got. So just see how hard she can hit on that. Oh yeah, no, I can't do that. So this is where this is over. But just to see, like, she's actually pretty crazy usable in certain scenarios. Would I say start building a team around her in the arena? Yeah, probably not. But I just wanted to get that one out of the way because I thought that would be a neat little exploit, for lack of a better term, that you could use. Could you use her in a one-turn stone skin? The key is to just make her really fast and then make sure you're getting those attack buff and speed buff. I'm not saying she's going to be the next meta. Absolutely not. But I am saying because she benefits from 2 buffs on that A1, she is potentially ridiculously good. Now, if you have an increased speed, do we have a champion? Do we have a champion? I'm trying to think, and it's not my strong suit. Filter, buffs, increase attack, and I'm sure there's a combination of increased attack and increased speed. I'm sure there's there. And when I say I'm sure, what I mean to say is absolutely not. Now, does he put it on everyone? He just puts it on himself, right? Yeah. Okay. That doesn't. Boy, that would be nice. And he puts it on himself. Selfish champions. Horden. I mean, we can't use him. He's the $50 man. She's got on separate skills. She does on a revive. So we'd have to, oh no, it's an increased attack on a revive. So there's absolutely 0 champions, at least in my roster in the game, that put that on one skill, which is unfortunately to have an increased speed and increased attack on all champions would be bonkers for her. So unfortunately, we kind of have to keep all multiple champions in here, and we want to be able to get this going. But I was just trying to think, there's just no way to do this. It's so unfortunate. I don't reset filters. That's what I want. Man, that would have been nice. That would have been nice. Okay, who did I take out now? I forget. Oh, the ally attack. I don't think I'll be faster here, so this might be a huge fail. Where? Do they not show them? Oh, why don't I just do recently used? Stop filtering. Recently used. So I don't know. I think it's a neat. Unfortunately, there's no champion that has an increased speed, at least that I have, increased attack on the same skill AoE, which then you could bring in her and ROWAN, and you could really start hitting some big numbers. Let's see what we got here. We can do this. And then we can exploit to take out her. Like 76, that's nothing to be ashamed of. And then, of course, we want to take out him. Pretty good. It's 4 hits. So either it works and he gone, or he puts those poisons. And unfortunately, we're not finding anyone to kill that survives the poisons, which would be nice. So I mean, yeah, can I use her? That was not a bad team. It's OC Boomer. I don't know who that is, but it looks like a pretty good team. So you can absolutely use her. Is she going to be your first choice? No, but I think that niche of having that A1, is it niche or niche? Let me know in the comments down below. Niche or niche? I think niche, but I hear everyone saying niche or niche now, and it's driving me bonkers. I think you can exploit it. I think there's an opportunity to exploit it. I really wish there was a combo. Plarium, if you hear me, can you please make a champion that increases both speed and attack on the same skill, so that we can bring in 2 A1s that hit really hard. Do we want to? I'm gonna try. No, he's gonna die. Dang it! I was hoping he wouldn't die so that we could land those poisons, because we want to see. I do have her in that that increased poison damage in arena. Unfortunately, and this is probably the biggest negative of it, is the opportunity to actually land that buff is so small that it's so unpredictable to even think that you're going to get that and to be able to land it, which is unfortunate, because I think it would hit really well there. 95. So yeah, I think she's probably, dare I say, underrated, but I think you can use her in the arena. She's probably not going to be your, look, honestly, for most rosters, she's not going to be your first choice. It's just not going to be. But is there a place to exploit her abilities? I think so. And just keep that in mind, especially for things like against Ultimate Death Knight. Like right here, we have Stone Skin, so we're not going to be able, but at least maybe we can get rid of Stultus here with some pretty heavy damage. 66 on a defense-based champion. I'll take that every day of the week. And then we can... Oh, it didn't land on him. So Monkey King is going to get a chance to steal all our buffs, and that is not good. I think we gotta hope and pray here. Oh, just can't live. Oh God. No fear proc. Yes. Yes. All right, this might work. Yeah, so we got the poisons there. Oof, that's really scary. Especially when Stultus goes. I think I'm in trouble. Look, she died from the poisons. I didn't even notice. I didn't even see it. She died from the poisons. It's not gonna matter. Yeah, okay. So that's okay. I think you get the gist. I mean, we could just say, you know what, let's not go with ally attacks. Let's just use her for what she is, or we can bring her in. If I'm doing this, so I have a single target and an AoE nuker. Ethos, I just want to bring him in here because he's so no longer meta in any sort of arena. But because we've got the Ultimate Death Knight, we can still go here. Didn't land any of the poisons, but I didn't see them get resisted, so I'm not quite sure why. But we can do this. Of course, we're going to get them revived. So I don't know. I'm very conflicted on what I think the usability of her in the arena is. I think she's a reasonable supplement. I don't think that's an unfair way to put it. I think that A1 is exploitable. Is it so good? Probably not. But it's not insignificant. And for those of you who are in the late game, but you're low spend, free to play, you're looking for any option out there, I think she's kind of a sneaky she's a side hustle. I think her kit is kind of fun. I don't know how she just hit for one. Oh, because she hit all 4 hits, but then let's see. Oh, it doesn't matter. I was going to say, let's see what that debuff was. So, I don't know. Why don't we go to final thoughts? You saw her in the arena. Is it we'll talk. We'll talk about it. All right, let's take an official look at ROWAN's arena build that I used for that arena battles. So obviously stats have dropped significantly, except for speed significantly increased based on the base versus against the clan boss. So here we have her at attack 6436, 281 speed, 291 crit damage, add 351 accuracy, keeping in mind that her 6-star blessing allows a 40% decrease in resistance to land those poisons. The stuns are nice. The poisons are really the only thing we want to land. It's really janky, to be honest. If you don't want to do this, you can just put her in cruelty or something, and then just don't worry about accuracy at all if you're going to use her in the arena. But I decided to do this because I also wanted to test to see if the changes here are still anything. 35%, sorry, not 40. So you are ignoring 30% of each target's resistance for the poisons. The poisons are doing 200% damage. They can do okay. If you land all 4 of them, you can get around 10k per pop. So 40k, it's pure damage. It doesn't matter on their strength. It doesn't matter on their defense. It's strictly a percentage of health, 5% on each, and then double up. So you can do some good damage with it. Is it good enough? Probably not, but, you know, it's ROWAN, so we had to try it, right? Her artifacts, we have her in Cruel and Savage. Not my best gear. We saw the stats already. We saw not my best gear, but strong enough. We didn't change any of the artifacts. You could put her in Helm Smasher, which would help her even more. But yeah, there's her gear. So why don't we've done her in Clan Boss. We pulled her into the arena. We showed some of the testing on her A1. So why don't we just go to final thoughts? So my final thoughts on ROWAN. Honestly, it is so difficult to do epic champions 5 years out of the gate. The power creep is real. It's significant. And the reality is, for those of you who've been playing for some period of time, probably don't need this champion. Probably won't use this champion. However, for those of you who do have a +4 ROWAN, maybe you have a 6-star or 5-star blessing, maybe you are looking for help in areas, maybe this is giving you some ideas. Clan Boss, obviously she's still usable. I think she's one of the most underrated champions for the Clan Boss. Nobody ever speaks her name. Everyone always finds an excuse as to why other champions are better than her. The reality is she hits harder than any other epic poisoner, pretty much. She is absolutely gangbuster. She lands 4 or 5% poisons at 100% clip. She has a 1-turn cooldown. It's not a lot of books to get there. She has a 60% on the stun. She has a 70% on the heal reduction. It's all really cool. And for the Clan Boss, yeah, she's landing a heal reduction. Here's the deal. I saw someone say Kale's better. That's not true. And let me just go over why that's not true. She puts 4 poisons out, guaranteed. I mean, as long as you don't get the 3% resist and you have enough accuracy, right? So she's putting on 4 poisons. She's hitting significantly harder than him. She's hitting a 4 and a 3 time on her A3 and A2. Yes, she's putting heal reduction up, and yes, that's going to take one potential poison slot. However, Kale's putting a 2.5% poison on his A1. And if you're doing a 2-to-1 clip or a 3-to-1 clip, depending on the team you're using, that can add up. And just remember, 2.5% poisons equals 1.5% poison. So if Kale has put 2.5% poisons, he's doing the heal reduction debuff, right? She's taking up 1. It equates to 1 slot. But he can put more than 2. He can put 3. He can put 4, 5. You don't know. And that's really going to, I think, limit his ability. But the biggest thing is he just isn't going to hit as hard. His blessings aren't going to be as good. The reality is, once you get, you can't +4 him. This is just, I think she's back in the ability to be, if you have her, you can use her for the Clan Boss. I've said this in a video before, you don't need 300 million damage, you need 72. She can get you 72. It's a champion that you're probably not using elsewhere. And now you can just put her in some good gear, not even great gear. Like, I overtuned her ridiculously for both of these tests. You could scale back her gear significantly once you have her +4, and she's still going to get you 72 on all affinities because she's Void Affinity. I think she's an amazing champion for the Clan Boss. If you need it, she's here and available for you. So there's that. Let's talk everywhere else. Dragon is probably the only place I really see some viability. Anywhere that you can use poisons on a single target to kill, I think she can be useful. She isn't survivable. So you need to bring in survivability with her. not saying that's not possible. There's Brogni out there. There's Duchess. There's a billion ways to do survivable nowadays. So she is available. She's not good for Hydra because poisons aren't a big significant thing in Hydra. But there are still dungeon bosses that poison mechanic works well for, and she can be serviceable there. Wouldn't call it my first choice, but can be serviceable. The arena is interesting. I think she's got a really good niche, and I think it's possible to exploit that depending on your team. The only unfortunate thing is there's no attack and speed combination AoE buff, so that you can just get both of those on her with one champion and maybe combine her with another A1 champion and an ally attack. That would be beautiful. If you could somehow put all of that together in one and have it work. Unfortunately, just not the case right now, which is shocking to me. With 1,000 champions, no champion has gotten an AoE speed and increased attack. But her A1 is definitely exploitable. And I think if you are looking for a solution to a problem of a single champion that you need to take out, I believe that ROWAN can do that for you. If you're sitting there with maybe, in the traditional kind of farming, speed boost, control, speed boost, control, and then AoE single target or something like that. If you need that kind of, she's there, and she's got a full kit for it. She has a 4-hitter, which means she can get past Ultimate Death Knight. She can hit 3 times on another champion. She can even put poisons on that champion, and those poisons, if you use the right blessing, can potentially finish that champion off. So there's an opportunity there. A1 with ally attack, or even just using it, it hits pretty freaking hard. You can double boost it with attack boost and speed boost, which really makes it hit one of the harder hitting A1s in the game. Probably one of the most underrated anyway. I was shocked at how much she hit, how much harder she hit than some of the other champions, just with buffs because of that speed, especially because of that speed buff. So it's something to be thought of. And she does have stuns, which unfortunately when you give enough accuracy to land crowd control, you have to do it at the expense typically of attack. So I don't know if that's as useful on someone like ROWAN, who you're really looking for that power attack with her A1, or maybe that multi-hit with her A3. But she is usable. I'm not saying that people are going to start using her. You're not going to see her in live arena. She's not very good. But the reality is probably 90% of the players playing this game need an option somewhere. And some of those players might have a +4 ROWAN, and they can use it. So that's my thought. I think she's a lot more surprising in arena. I'm not saying she's good in arena. Well, I'm saying she's situationally good in arena. I think that empowering her and the blessings as well, it helps with that, because you can get the stats you need to be able to take enemies down, which may not have been the case before the empowerment, just because of the power creep of the game. So I don't know, take it for what you will. Look at your account and think whether or not, most of you probably it's a no, but some of you it might be yes. So that's pretty cool. What do you think? Let me know in the comments down below. What do you think? Did anything surprise you with ROWAN? Is it what you thought? Let me know. And most importantly, of course, thanks for watching. Please be kind, be safe, and we'll see you in the next video.